this is Magnar and welcome back to my modding tutorial series for Rome 2 Total War. I had to delete my last tutorial on generals because I left out a couple things. So I'm going to re-record the whole episode for generals so I can include everything that I left out. If I, for some reason, I have not touched on something or I've left a table out, please let me know and I may have to re-record it again, but I think I've got all bases covered this time. So, for generals, there's three areas of generals I'm going to talk about and show you how to mod. There's the general unit on the campaign map, which you move around when you're on the campaign and you see him turning into a horse and whatever, and has the army attached to him, and you see him in his portrait, any 3D portrait, and in the politics screen you can see he has another portrait there. All that kind of stuff is to do with that first section on the campaign area of generals. The next area is portraying a general in an actual battle, and creating a custom general look in the battle, and deciding which unit he's attached to. Well, that's kind of coming to the next point, which is the area of not the general himself, but the unit that he's attached to, and how to make different units general units. So, first up, we'll talk about the campaign aspects. We're going to need, from our unit base pack here, we're going to have to add, firstly, 4 new tables. So, let's go add from pack, and we'll go to our data Rome 2 pack, vanilla pack, Steam apps, common, Rome 2 data Rome 2. Okay, we'll open that up. And the 4 tables we're going to need are agent uniforms, campaign character art or arts, and campaign. Let's just grab them. Agent uniforms, and right click that, and then we go down to the campaign character ones. There's 2 of them: campaign character arts and campaign character art sets. And the 4th one we'll need, because we haven't added it previously, isn't specifically for generals, but it's also, you'll also need it for doing other modding other types of things in. It's called variance tables, so right click that as well. So now we've got all 4 tables. Yep. Save that and rename them as always, because we're not deleting anything, we're just adding. Okay, now I can save that. Before we go further, I've created a variant mesh definition, which is essentially just the tutorial officer VMD, but I've copied it and renamed it something else. You can see here that it's going to have a barbarian appearance. It's going to have talks, Montefatinos, Celtic tunics. You can see the weapons it's got, and so it's going to be distinctly different from the other standard Roman generals. So let's go in and add that copied variant mesh definition. And I've called it Roman General 32. Doesn't mean it has to be for Rome, it could be for anything. And I'll save that in there. Then I'll copy the name, as I always do, to avoid any typos. name, Control C. And now I'm going to chuck it into this variance table to start off with. Ooh. Because there's only one column here, if I want to paste into it, I actually have to select the button to the left. You see that error here? When pasting rows, when you're pasting something which is all the columns, you always have to select the entire row. So that's what I'm going to do. And there it is. I don't want the rest, so I will delete it. Okay, and I'll do the same. Then I'll go to just work up my way up the table. I've got combo boxes off, so I can do that. And here I'm just going to overwrite this general here. You can see all these generals, Bactria, whatever that one is, Arabia maybe, they all share the same portrait. It's all the same here. And all the C uniform, it's the same. Navy uniform, it's all the same. And land animation, it's all the same. Same C, etc. So the only thing that I really need to change here, the uniform, that's set ID, and that's it. So let's change that by pasting in our new one. You can see that the I'm not going to touch on these historical generals because I've not been able to find how they link this general or Caesar or whoever from the campaign to the battle appearance. I can't find how to make that appearance the same. So I'm not going to be touching on that in this episode, in this tutorial. If you find it, please put in the comments below because I would really like to know how to do that. Okay, so once I've done that, I can delete everything else and do the next one. Now here we can just put the same thing as we did before. As you can see, all the generals, that's the agent type. This feeds from the agent table. Here you got your, this goes from your cultures table, from your factions table, and from your culture to subculture factions table. Here you can determine if your general is male or female. There's some other stuff there. So we want to have this general, and we'll put him to something weird. Don't want to do Rome again. Let's do it a bit different. Let's go maybe Bactria. Not that it matters. Oh, let's do it here. We'll just do an Eastern. Now with this, all you need, by the way, remember to push backspace when deleting something in here and not delete, otherwise you'll delete the table and have to re-add it. You only need to put something in one of these columns. Culture obviously includes all the subcultures and factions within those subcultures. Subcultures includes all the factions. So depending on how specific you want to be, you only need to include in one of these columns. Or none of them even, if you want to just make it universal. And we'll delete the rest. You see spies and dignitaries and champions are all in his table as well. I'm going to save it there. I was having a little problem with my PFM today. I've posted, sent a message to the guy who's working on the PFM. And what happened was, when I renamed this table here, so when I deleted all the cells from this table except the top one, like I did with the previous, it changed the structure. I'll just show you now so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's not doing it. There we go. Did this, and then it would not load up in the game. It would cause the game to crash. So I'm not going to save that. No, I don't. So I'm not going to do that for this time, but hopefully that gets fixed. Instead, to work around that, I'm going to delete everything except the first two rows, and this way it doesn't have that same problem. If you don't have that problem, then you don't need to have the two rows. You can just have one. Now here I'm just going to put, so you can have different uniforms political uniform, battle uniform. The battle file name, I'm not sure about that. I mean, I know that it is different, but I think it just refers to when the character starts fighting on the campaign map and to engage a battle or something. I've not seen it linked to the battlefield, which is what I hoped it would be, but it's not, as far as I can tell. So oops, I've got the wrong thing copied. Copy that again. Now I'm going to just copy the same thing. They don't have to be different. Even though these are different, I'm not going to create different ones for each of them, but if you want, you can. I'm going to just keep them all the same and copy it like that. So this is like your portrait and some other stuff. I haven't identified exactly which one's which. You can play around with that and find out where each one of those different things goes. The audio armor you can find in the table audio enums, I think it's called. Let's have a look. So those audio types that you can use are not actually found in the Data Roam 2-pack, but you can find them in the assembly kit by going to Audio Material Enums, and you get a list there. Now these audios are used for a variety of different equipment sounds, whether it be for general equipment in this table, or whether it's for melee or armor, the sound armor audio, all this kind of stuff. It's all drawing from the same place, as you'll see in later episodes. So that's where to find it if you want to change it around a little bit. For this tutorial, I'm not going to change it. So we can go back here, and I'll leave it as is, and save it. Now the other aspect to it is in campaigns. If you want to change the appearance of a general in the campaign, you go into your start pos, and you go down to campaign model, world, faction array, pick a faction that you want to change, which, I forget which one we just added it to. Eastern. I guess I put it onto Rome as well. I actually know that the code is this, so I'm not going to copy and paste this time, which is not very good, but for the sake of this, I'm going to do it that way. Okay, let's go back here. And we go to world, faction array, and I can pick Rome, because I know where Rome is. I don't want to have to go fishing for an Eastern faction. Then we go down to character array, and you select your character you want. Let's have a look at this one. You can see this is actually, you can see the unit that it's attached to here, and this is a ship unit. We don't want that. This one is a triarii, if it is, I think, and a general. Let's use this one. And we can go down to pick the character array, open character up, character details, and then character detail art sets. And you can see there a similar code to what I've added is where you put in the general that you want to use. I'm not going to change that, but if you want to change how the generals look, then by all means go for it. Okay, the next part is regarding the battlefield appearance of the general, and for this we use officers. If we want to make a in the battlefield, when a unit dies, the unit that is the officer is the signifier standard bearer. Standard bearer 1, I'm pretty sure. The standard bearer for the general's unit. So if we want to put our one here, we go like that. And now whatever unit had this if this officer was assigned to a unit that was allowed to be a general, then in battle, the general would be the standard bearer, would look like this now, and if he died, then it would say your general is dead. Okay, so we can say that like that, why not? So that takes us to the third part, which is the general's unit. So there's two places we use generals, A being in custom battles, and in battles from the campaign map. And they're assigned separately. So for custom battles, as we've done in a previous episode, to make a unit, a general's unit, you just have to tick a box here. So if we want the slingers to be a general unit, we tick the box. As I explained in that previous episode also, if you want to have a unit as a general's unit and also available as a non-general unit, then you have to have two lines, one with the box ticked and one with the box unticked. Save that. To add a general to a unit, to make a unit available to be a general in the campaign map, in the campaign game, we need another table. So we're going to go back to add from pack, and we're going to select, back as we always do, data roam 2 pack. I'm sure you can find it faster than I can. Okay, and the table we want to have here is called Commander Unit Permissions Tables. Make sure you got the DV selected, of course. Go all the way down to Commander. There it is. Right click on that. Okay. You can see what it looks like. Let's save it first and rename it. So let's make this a Bactria unit, maybe? So I'll just want to find Bactria. I don't want to go and find the code for it, so I'm just going to do it this way. Delete everything except the one line. I'll just make sure it's not going to screw up my table. Good. Alright, let's grab that our code again, in case we don't have it in our clipboard. Paste it in there. Save it. And now we can have... Oh, sorry. No. I don't want the general. We want to have the actual unit. So we got to pick the unit. This unit, for instance. The general will be in this unit. Where am I? Sorry. There it is. Okay. You put the actual unit, not the general's VMD into there, because this won't look for the this won't look through the for the general. It'll look for an actual unit to create. And now we have a unit available both in custom battle and I did it again in the campaign game. And that's all I think there is for generals. If you have any questions or I've missed anything out, please write in the comments, and I will either make a new tutorial or have to redo this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.